Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Rndr, FET and Injective price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna start with Rndr, where we are looking still at our impulse from the bottom here, potentially in our blue box where we have hit our target, and we're looking here at double 1-2, wave 3, wave 4. Now a wave 4, the 0.23 here is taken, by the way. It is already taken, so we can consider it kind of like a wave 4 can be done and finished. However, because of course there's 3 waves where we took of course the 1.38 FIB level or 1.23 here for an expanding flat A, B, and a C. I'm still looking for a potential wave C here to unfold towards the downside, which it can be of course very likely, even turning into running flat. Well, this is very possible as well, because we have an impulse here. However, if we are still corrective, it can still be, of course, something as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, bigger 1, 2. So, but be careful, of course, from the running flat, because this is like 5 waves failing to take the low as well, and potentially can be a 1, 2 here, 3, 4, and a 5. Also, indifference possibility, of course, as an ending diagonal. So very also likely to see something to push for higher sooner or later anyway. So the sentiments are much more bullish, of course, despite that it might still push for lower a little bit, in case this is the worst case scenario that we might reach, of course, our target here. Yeah, our target in confluence, and then, of course, pushing for higher in a wave 5. The target for a wave 5 might be the $3 here in common target, and very psychological number, so very likely to be taken. In case the uncommon target will be taken at 0.618 Fibonacci level, $2.86. So I'm still positive for Rndr, of course, sooner or later. Now it might, of course, dive a little bit deeper, but at the end, of course, it's gonna unfold this wave 5. And by the way, regarding the timing, I would say the timing here, it might, of course, finish up perfectly there in case we get a wave C. So even if we dive a little bit deeper, the timing here for the wave 2, you need the double time for it. So it's still, of course, very likely, guys. Yep, so this is regarding Rndr. Let's see FET as well. For FET, also after this potential low that we got here, we start to see a 1, 2, 3 here, and we are estimating this correction if it's gonna be done and finished soon, and pushing for higher in a wave 5. But basically for FET, we have here kind of like, it can be a finished impulse as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 5 is truncated within this wick, and a formation of an A, B, and a C here. So we gotta be careful from the ending diagonal, and that because, of course, I repeat always that we might need, of course, the FIB time here for a correction to make a balance, of course, between the W, the X, which is a triangle, and a wave Y. Yeah, so the wave Y can be an ABC here. The wave C can be a very long sideways, a little bit diagonal. Yeah, something like this. It might take a very long time, and then pushing for higher once finishing this ending diagonal. However, on the micro level, it shows still, of course, different possibilities here that we might still look for higher. And if this is, of course, an impulse and is going to be finished as an impulse and 1, 2 here, well, to be tested, of course, the wave 2, and we'll see later on. But currently, I'm still looking for one more high, at least, to reach, of course, this target. Currently, this correction here as an A, B, and a C, it is also a kind of a regular flat because we didn't took the high here. So the high is not taken. Yeah, there is a gap there. So it might unfold the regular flat in confluence here with a 0.38 FIB level, meaning ABC very likely still to be taken, and then pushing for higher toward the upside. On the 50-minute chart, well, there is something impulsive here, can be as an impulse finished, and you're looking for 1, 2, and then wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5. Yeah, so can be, of course, kind of like an impulsive wave unfolding towards the downside still. So by all means, I would say FET is still looking for higher sooner or later, even on the micro level, that we might dive a little bit deeper. We might push toward the upside. Don't forget the 886 is taken, meaning the high will be taken once more time again. Yep, so this is regarding FET, and finally we're gonna check on Injective. So for Injective as well, if we take a look here on the bigger picture, we have of course double one, two, a 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. But it can be even a potential W, X, and a wave Y unfolding there, or even a bigger W, X, and a wave Y. The wave Y can be, of course, kind of like a zigzag, which is the most highest possibility here. And that because, of course, again, well, the same as for FETs, the same as for Rndr, we might need the time here, of course, to reach this area. And by the way, it can be even a triangle, right? So because, of course, Injective is not showing a triangle for wave X here, it's showing a zigzag. It is very likely to have an A, B, C, D, and a E here, and then pushing for higher. Yeah, so this is also very likely possibility that it might happen here as a triangle and then pushing for higher. Now, internally on the 2 hours chart here, if we are still bullish, of course, from this low where we took, of course, our blue box perfectly, we got also an impulse finished as a wave 1, where you got double 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. And currently, you're still corrective here. And very likely that this wave C is done and finished here for Injective, because we start to see, of course, something pushing for higher. You took the low in a form, of course, of a diagonal or an impulse even. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yes, can be finished. You took the low, and we start to see an impulse, by the way, on the 1 hour chart. So very short wave C here can be also very, very likely for the wave 2. Don't forget that the wave 2 has already passed the minimum requirement, which is the 0.38, right? And we took, I think, the 0.5 exactly. We start to kick off from it. Yeah, so here we are. So basically, yeah, I would say the wave 2 can be finished there, and we can push for higher. Now, in case that we're gonna see weaknesses again, well, be careful from a deeper wave C again to reach the 1-to-1 imperfection, of course, as an ABC here inside also the perfect fib level. Meaning, if of course we get invalidation here, if this low is taken again, then we will dive deeper again. Of course, this is your confirmation, I would say, for lower here. And so we gotta be careful with it. Yep, so these are the potential scenarios. Now, in case that Injective will continue for higher, this target is done, by the way. If Injective will continue for higher, the target would be for wave 3 very high here. Yeah, so it might be very high. In a wave 3 as an impulse, you might reach, of course, yeah, the $8, 7.7 and $8.7. So very, very interesting for Injective. If this is going, of course, to unfold, that is going to be massive. Yep, so these are the updates for Rndr, FET, and Injective. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.